Snapshot 25W31A includes minor pack versions and data pack version 82.0 and resource pack version 65.0 with new loot tables and more. My name is Sliced Lime and this is a showcase of all the changes. Let's start with pack versions. Pack versions for both data and resource packs now have minor version support. Minor versions of the pack formats are always forward compatible, and breaking changes are done with new major versions. This means things like added items will now be minor version changes rather than major ones. A pack made for a given major version will keep working on new minor versions, but may not keep working on new major versions. Your pack can list the major version alone for the minimum or maximum supported format of a pack, which means that the pack supports all minor versions on that major version. If you want, it is also possible to specify a minor version for the minimum or maximum. This also means the format of the pack.mc meta file has changed. This is done in such a way that the game will try to validate that the format is correct for all versions in the range that your pack declares support for. That means that the supported formats field has been removed, but is still required if your pack declares support for pack versions before the switch. A similar thing applies for the pack version field. It is now optional, but if the supported version range includes a version before the new format, the field is still required. There are two new fields for declaring the supported formats. They are min format and max format. These fields can be a single integer, which is interpreted as the major version number and all its minor versions. You can also specify a list of two integers, which is interpreted as a major and a minor version number. Similar changes have been made to the overlay entry format, where the formats field has been removed. But if the pack supports a version before the switch, it is still required for all overlay entries, even the newer ones. Overlays also now have min format and max format fields with the same formats as the one for the pack section. With all that said, let's move on to the data pack changes, starting with loot tables. Fields that specify a target entity in a loot table, such as the entity field in entity properties, can now additionally target the target entity and interacting entity parameter types as well. There are two new loot table types. The entity interact loot table type has been added and has three parameters. Target entity is the entity being interacted with. Interacting entity is the entity that is interacting with the target entity, if any. And tool is the tool used to interact. There's a similar new loot table type called block interact, which also has the interacting entity and tool parameters in addition to block state and block entity for the interacted block. There are now also a number of new loot tables. The charged creeper/root loot table dispatches on the mob that was killed, which means the head drops from mobs killed by charged creeper explosions can now be modified in loot tables. Once any mob killed drops an item from this loot table, no other mobs killed by the same creeper will drop any loot from this loot table. The brush/armadillo loot table controls what is dropped when an armadillo is brushed. The gameplay/turtle grow loot table controls what drops when a turtle grows up. And drops from shearing a pumpkin are now controlled by the carve/pumpkin loot table. Harvest/beehive is for when a beehive is harvested, and harvest/cave vine is for when a glowberry is harvested. In command news, a bug causing some command errors to state "see below for details" without any actual details below has been fixed. And commands that summon monsters now fail in peaceful worlds instead of successfully summoning a monster that vanishes a tick later. A data component has been changed. The block's attacks component no longer causes the item to be disabled if 0 damage was actually blocked for any reason. And a game rule change. The spawn chunk radius game rule has been removed, together with the spawn chunks themselves. In custom world news, a noise settings field has been replaced. The initial density without jaggedness field has been removed and replaced with a new 2D preliminary surface level field. This is a function expected to produce the Y level of the approximate surface level. To replicate the previous field, you can use the new find top surface density function. Speaking of new density functions, there's also another new one, invert, that produces the result of dividing 1 with the argument density function. There are also some custom world related bug fixes. Setting width smoothness in a carver to 0 now produces an error instead of crashing the game. And setting the precipitation in a biome to none now properly prevents snow from accumulating. In Jigsaw-related news, the max distance from center field can now optionally specify different limits for horizontal and vertical axes. This is done by making the field an object with horizontal and vertical fields instead of a single number. A bug has been fixed with zombie villager variants and professions not being properly restored when they got placed using jigsaws. And another bug with the block age processor has been fixed to handle slab block states properly. In tag news, there are a number of new tags. The incorrect for copper tool block tag has been added, together with the collection tags for copper blocks, copper chest blocks, and copper golem statue blocks. The copper tool materials and repairs copper armor item tags have been added, together with the collection item tag variants of the aforementioned block tags. In resource pack news, in addition to all the new textures and models, there are a number of changes to shaders. A number of core and post shaders have been removed and replaced with a new core/screen quad shader. Vertex shaders for post-processing effects as well as light map generation and full screen blitz are no longer past the position attribute, and instead must assign vertex coordinates by GL vertex ID. These passes are now also only executed with 3 vertices instead of a full quad. And that's all the changes in these pack versions. Thank you for watching. My name is Sliced Lime, and I'll see you next time.